Okay, let me see. Are we rolling? Yeah, I think we're rolling. Yes, we're rolling. What's up, everybody? Punchingbagskunk.com, where you get the best unboxing. What's up? How you doing, everybody? Yeah, back with another exciting video. The name of this video is. Well, let me set the premise up, Chris. In the boxing groups on Facebook, there's a lot of boxing groups. Punchingbagsskunk has its own boxing group. But there's tons of boxing groups. Anybody can start a Facebook group, so it's like tons of boxing groups. Some full of jackass. Well, I'm sorry, most of them are full of jackasses. Some, you can find guys in there that know what they're talking about. But anyway, there's a lot of discussion on the boxing groups a lot about like fantasy fights. Like what if Hagler fought him, or Hearns fought him, or if Sandy Sadler fought, you know what I mean? So they put these fights together, and one of the fights that seems to get a lot of discussion on it is the Floyd Mayweather versus Ray Leonard. That fight seemed to get a lot of attention, arguing and fights and just all kinds of stuff. And maybe that's why I go there. I just like to argue. But anyway, somebody told me I like to argue before. Whatever. So that's what this video is going to be called. This video is called this show is called Floyd Mayweather will get killed by. I mean, not killed. I changed it from killed to demolished. So let me explain that. The name of this story is Floyd Mayweather will get demolished by Ray Leonard. Couldn't put killed because, if you use these certain buzzwords, you gotta put jackasses that they look for the words. So hate, kill, you can't say hate or kill, they aggravate people. So I changed it. Anyway, they broke down to the pressure. And now it's Floyd Mayweather will get demolished. That a little better, Chump? Demolished by Floyd Mayweather. And one thing I noticed about this rivalry here is that they fall into just two factions. Like you got your people that think Floyd Mayweather would win. I mean, Ray Leonard would win. Usually the older cats like me. And then you got your dum-dums over here. I don't really think Floyd would win. But anyway, that's what this video is about. Before we get into that, I want to let you know about all the exciting things we got coming up on Punchingbagskunk.com. We got a live broadcast coming up next month, which is going to feature some really great people, personal friends of mine, all of them, that we're going to have on the live broadcast. It's really, the live broadcast came about because I'm comfortable. Listen, it's not easy putting these broadcasts up, especially when you're right in the middle of your opening season for your business. So I'm ordering equipment and all stuff. So I'm doing a lot of things. So say thank you. get this broadcast up for you guys. But I was on the phone with a good friend of mine, Matt Farago from Ring 10 organization. He was on the phone talking for like an hour. This is Matt right here. Here you go, Matt. He's the president of Ring 10 Foundation, which is a foundation that does just wonderful things for fighters. They help out fighters in need. And look, man, everything is not like fighters traditionally don't end up with making a ring like Floyd. A lot of fighters don't end up that way. It's just reality. All right, so you see that stuff on TV with Floyd. That's why I always get on Floyd. Oh, money. That's why I get on about that, because it's fantasy. It's not reality. It aggravates me. That you see me, you know how I am. It aggravates me because that's not how most fighters end up. Most fighters end up struggling to pay rent, struggling to pay doctor's bills, struggling to pay this stuff. You know what I mean? No money. Ain't no union. It ain't like football and baseball and basketball. Ain't no boxers union. So fighters need help. You know what I mean? And guys like Matt Farago and Ring 10 Foundation is a godsend. You know what I mean? They've helped so many fighters. You know what I mean? So many fighters in need. That I always donate to Ring 10. I even took an ad-out in the program. I give what I can. I mean, I'm not rich either, but I give what I can, because they help a lot of fighters. Fighters like Wilfred Benitez, fighters like they help out a lot of fighters. Terrell Biggs. They've helped out Joe McClellan and Lisa McClellan. By the way, how you doing, Lisa? I wanted to say happy belated birthday. Lisa does a lot for boxing in her own right. Her and my man Matt Farrar, they work together sometimes. So it's a wonderful organization that does a lot. There's a lot of organizations out there that they claim to help fighters. I mean, they give you a song and dance to get everybody on. You get the violin on, and they get you all in your feelings and everything, and you give you money. But for some mysterious reason, the money doesn't make it from the organization to the fighter. One thing about Ring 10 is 100% of any amount you give goes directly to the fighter. You know, I mean, you got some really, really awesome guys in this organization, like my man Richard Swartz. What's up, Rich? You know what I mean? So he helps run Ring 10 also. So you got some dynamite people in that organization, Ring 10, nonprofit organization. Matt Farrar, my good friend Matt, is going to be on the live broadcast next month. We're looking for the first or second week next month. We're also going to have John, one of my great friends since the amateur days, John Scully. Yo! I get everybody cheering out there because everybody loves John Scully. John Scully's a man. He's like the boxing humanitarian, John Scully. Great fighter, great outstanding amateur champion and professional champion. Fought for the title for a couple of times. A great guy, a great fighter and greater guy. Just like a boxing humanitarian. He's going to be on the show to spread a lot of... John knows everybody. You can ask anybody in boxing, and they'll tell you that John knows everybody and he knows everything about boxing. He remind me of stuff from the amateur days that I forgot a long time, but he knows it. He's got like a computer. He's like a computer, so I'm really honored to have John on the show. John Scully, Matt Farrago. We're going to have Tyrone, the Harlem Butcher Jackson, another great dude, a good friend of mine. And we was kicking it up there at Ring 10, up there at Marina Del Rey, up there in the Bronx last year. He's going to be on the show. I talked to him. And Tyrone, the Butcher Jackson is a multiple-time world champion. He fought for the belt so many times, and he's just a man. You know what I mean? So Tyrone, the Butcher Jackson. I talked to Roland. So I didn't get to call Roland, but I talked to Roland, Jason Estrada's father yesterday. I just haven't had time to call Jason, but I'm quite sure Jason's my boy. He'll be on the show. I want to add him to this broadcast, but I haven't officially talked to him yet. But I'll call Jay tonight, and I know Jay will have no problem. So we got 2004 U.S. Olympian Jason Estrada on the show, and I was gonna have Iran Boxing. I talked to Richard Schwartz, and because Iran haven't been feeling well. He's been in the hospital. I think he just got out of the hospital. I want to say, Iran, man, get well, brother. You know what I mean? I remember that rap contest we had. I just want to say, get well, brother. I was gonna try talking to Rich about getting Iran on the show. I called you, Iran, a day before yesterday, but I went to your voicemail and I found out later by Richard that you was actually in the hospital. So anyway, you just get better, brother. You just get better, Iran Barkley. We all wish you luck and prayers, you know what I mean? And we'll get you on the show some other time, whenever you get ready, champ. So that's what's coming up for Punchingbagskunks.com. We get the live broadcast coming up next month with a lot of good guys that are knowledgeable boxing fans on there, the knowledgeable boxing people on there. That's going to spread a lot of knowledge, and it's going to be really, really awesome. So now we can get into the someone. Wait. We rewind it because I'm finding that I got to talk about these Facebook groups. I know I'm like obsessed with it. I mean, like I'm always like, this is a bunch of jackasses. I mean, these people on there that just don't know what you're talking about. You know, and it aggravates me. I'm gonna tell you why it aggravates me. It aggravates me because I did a post in my group, our group I should say, Punchingbagskunks. There I go saying me. My staff gets mad when I do that kind of stuff. It ain't just you doing this, Greg. You got help doing this. It ain't just you. Anyway, all right, everybody got it. I did a post of 5 best commentator, boxing commentators, and 5 worst boxing commentators, and I think I did some honorable mentions at the bottom. And dude came on, he was just, you can tell when it's malicious. It's not, because dudes come on and say their opinion, that's fine. Everybody got an opinion, that's fine. But he was sniping, trying to shoot, trying to draw fire. So we had a little discussion, and I don't care. I argue with anybody. I don't care. Yeah, anyone that knows me knows that you ain't gonna argue me. You ain't gonna talk me off. Like, what's up? But it just got me aggravated because, when it has to become that anybody can just question fighters and expertise. I'm an expert. I'm a professional fighter. Been in fighting my whole life. I'm a certified expert. If anyone's gonna be an expert, it's gonna be me, because this is what I do. Right? So I don't like when people try to shame you for being an expert. And what I mean by that is this. I know it's a lot of guys who come on there running their mouth and they'll say, well, who do you think you are? And then you say, well, I can speak on this because this is what I did, this is what I do. And then the first thing to be taught after that is, oh, that don't make you right just because you did it. Really? I'm not saying it made me right, but I tell you one thing, it makes me righter than you. You know what I'm saying? But they'll try to shame you. They'll try to shame you by saying stuff like that. Like you ain't, what makes you the authority? Well, because that's what I do. Duh. Let's put it another way for the jackasses that I can just feel you right now, bro. You think there's a lot of trainers that never fought, but there was good trainers. But what you neglect to say about that, you bonehead, is that these fighters you using as a reference to say, well, Ray Leonard never was a fighter, or I don't even know if he was. I'm just using that to throw him out there. Certain trainers that never was a fighter, but you neglect to realize that these same trainers been around fighters, great fighters, their whole life. Or they've been in the camp with fighters their whole life, so they know what they're talking about. But let me just put it another way for the jackasses that's spinning right now. If I'm an electrician, I'm gonna set a scenario up for you. I'm an electrician. I'm working on somebody's house in the kitchen or whatever, and I'm working on a thing. And I hear the owner over there talking to someone. And they say, well, I just found a mole on my arm, and it's been there for about a week, and I don't know if it's cancerous or I don't know, you know what I mean? And I go, and I'm the electrician, I go, hey, come here, listen, this is what you need to do for that. You just take a little lemon juice and you pour the lemon juice on there, then you take this gauze and you put some mayo on it, and then you put the mayo on there, and then you tape it up with the mayo, and you let it sit on there for like 15 minutes, and after that, you just go to sleep, and when you wake up, it's gonna be better. How ridiculous would that be? See, because I'm not a doctor. So you need a doctor's opinion. Well, my point is, these dudes are talking junk. I'm a fighter, so let me just end this right now. My opinion means more. Okay, you hear me there, you Facebook jackass? My opinion means more because I've done it. I did it. I've been there, done that. Okay, that's it. Anyway, let's get out of this. Oh wait, one more thing. I know we're already 13 minutes in. We ain't talking about Floyd yet. And this ain't clickbait, boy. I'm gonna tell you that one of my dudes said to me. He said, I seen your interview with Jason Big Six Estrada, and he said it was a great interview, Greg. A lot of back and forth. It was really great back and forth. Jay-Z's in an interview because he knows a lot about boxing, so you ask a question, he'll give you in-depth answers. That's good. He don't just give you one-word answers. So he's a great interview, Jason Estrada. But anyway, my man was saying, man, maybe you should think about getting a partner, like to talk. You can go back and forth. I've never really played well with other kids, so. But I said, well, maybe I do need a partner. So there you go. Entering Boxalina here. Say hi, Boxalina. She don't really talk too much. But there she is. Listen, Floyd Mayweather will get his ass whooped by Ray Leonard, and this is gonna be a real quick analysis because it's not even that complicated. He beat him because Floyd Mayweather uses the same style that his father Floyd Sr. uses. That same short road nonsense that I'm always cracking on, that I don't like, that I think is cowardly. You guys see my videos. I don't respect this. I don't care what Floyd say. He can't whoop my butt. You know what I mean? I'm saying I don't like the style. I don't like it. It's scary looking. I'd say the same analogy I always say. But whenever you're in still shots like this, running all the time like that, that's scary to me. That's a scary style. I don't like it. I don't fight like that. You know what I mean? It's a scary style. I don't like it. And here's the thing. It's effective. Because he took his father's style, which is the same style. His father taught him. It's the same style. Even though Roger, the brother, God bless his soul, that's my man there, Roger, I met him up there at Foxwoods a couple of years ago. We had to talk for about an hour. He was a great guy. And I never met Floyd, so I don't know how he is personally. But anyway, his father had the same style as Floyd got. It's his style. It's Floyd Sr.'s style. That shoulder roll, pop shot, the right hand, that's basically the style. And that's the same style that Floyd Sr. had. And that's the same style that Sugar Ray Leonard broke down. Now, it's a difficult style to break. And here's how you break that style. You just maul them. That's how you break that style. You maul them. You look at the guys that mauled Floyd, gave him a hard time. Maidana, mauled him. And look at all the hard time he had with her. Remember the dude, what's my man? Let me think of my man's name. The Emmanuel Augustus. Go look that fight up. Emmanuel Augustus. Matter of fact, even Floyd said Emmanuel Augustus was his toughest fight. You know what I mean? So if you just stay on that style, because you can't do that forever. My trainer, Archie Johnson, the first trainer I ever had in my life, he used to always say, your offense is your defense. Case closed. Your offense is your defense. If you're constantly on your guy and he's gonna just do this the whole round, or you won the round. Alright? But here's the real reason why, if you want, because you gotta realize that when I break fights down, I told someone this before. Sometimes when I break fights down or make predictions and anything like that, it's not from traditional stuff. I don't look at traditional guidelines and stuff that most people look at to see what's the outcome of a fight. I look at other things. I look at, like, is this guy tapping gloves too much? Is this guy, how much money does he got? I use untraditional barometers to judge what's going to happen in a fight. Because like Holmes said, it's hard to get up at 4 o'clock in the morning to run when you got on silk pajamas. You know what I mean? Money takes some of the fire off. Guys will fight their ass off when they ain't got no money and they're hungry. But you got a mansion and $5 million, and some kind of motivation slides away a little bit. So I look at factors like that, and sometimes it's just I'm looking, and that's what I feel that. That's what you know what I mean? Like when I talk about Devin Haney, and I say I don't feel killer instinct in him, but that there is nothing conclusive, logical that I can explain that. I'm just saying with my boxing acumen, I'm saying I don't see it. So whatever. But how you break that style down is you keep pressure on it. And if you look at the Sugar Ray Leonard, Floyd Mayweather Sr. fight, Sr. was doing pretty good. I mean, he just couldn't hurt Sugar Ray Leonard. But if you look at the fight, and I've watched it 1,000 times, he was there. He was there. He was returning fire and with combinations, and he was there. But he just couldn't get Sugar Ray Leonard's respect. Okay, he couldn't get the respect, and so Sugar, it looked like Sugar was never worried. It was almost like he knew he was gonna say, just look at the fight. Just look at the fight, and you'll see what I'm talking. If you know boxing, you'll see what I'm talking about. Sugar Ray he never looked worried. Oh, and by the way, just a little side note to trivia to that: the Floyd Mayweather Senior Sugar Ray Leonard fight was actually right downtown at the Providence Civic Center, my hometown. That's where they had that fight. Anyway, just a little side trivia. I fought there too. But he was never worried about that. He just kept walking down. He just kind of knew he was just like he knew he'd get him. And I think that because Sugar Ray Leonard, people don't realize this about Sugar Ray Leonard. Sugar Ray Leonard was a power puncher. I don't know, because he dance and move and he's fast. They don't give him enough respect on the power side. Sugar Ray Leonard was a power puncher. You don't sit in there and go toe to toe with Tommy Hearns unless you're a power puncher. You don't sit in there and go toe to toe with Marvin Hagler and Roberto Duran. In the first fight with Duran, that's what he did the whole fight. 15 rounds, toe to toe, with a guy that was vicious back then. I mean, when that particular Ball of Montreal, Sugar Ray just went toe to toe the whole fight. Go watch it. What you gonna do? Watch it. The whole fight. So Sugar Ray was a power puncher, and he came out early as a young pro against really strong son Marcos Giraldo. Marcos Giraldo was a dude that was giving everybody hell. Marvin Hagler, everybody, that goofy boxing, you watch him, goofy looking, but he's hard to fight, and he was a lot heavier. Angelo Dundee came out and said that he was a lot heavier than Sugar Leonard when they fought. You know what I mean? So Sugar Ray had some tough fights even coming up, and you know what I mean? So I think that Floyd, and you can argue about Floyd. First of all, Floyd's competition is not nowhere near. I don't care what you young jackasses say. Floyd's competition is nowhere near on the caliber as Sugar Ray Leonard's. I mean, where do you guys even get off arguing these asinine arguments like that? Like that's like, you know what I mean? I don't understand that. You know what I mean? There's some great fighters there. Diego Corrales, you know, like I said, Augustus. I mean, there's some Jab Jew. There's some decent fighters on there, but decent. You know what I mean? You know, you're talking about great fighters and decent fighters. No disrespect to guys like Zab and they're great good dudes and everything. But you know, come on, Zab Judah's not Tommy Hearns. You know, Augustus is not Tommy Hearns and Bill Duran. Diego Corrales is not Marvin Hagler. You know what I mean? So it's like the resume. But you guys are gonna say, I know what you guys are gonna say. You say, well, Greg, you're not giving me nothing. Give me something. Give me something. You know, you give me your opinion and all that. I got that. But give me something. Well, I'm gonna tell you, I'll give you something. He's stronger. He's stronger than Floyd, and he's faster. If you look at, and if you land a roast of Sugar Ray Leonard, he's an assassin. Okay, you want something? I'll give you something. Remember the fight with him and Andy Price? Remember that fight when Andy Price got caught on the rope? And did you remember the dismantling that Sugar Ray did to him? Like vicious. And look, this wasn't no pushover guy. And Price was considered a legitimate challenger to Sugar Ray Leonard in that fight. It was a pickle. Like some people didn't know who was gonna win that fight. He was managed by Marvin Gaye. He was right there with Sugar Ray Leonard. It was what they call a crossroads fight. Okay, this was a crossroads fight for him, and Sugar Ray dismantled him. I mean, once he got him on the road, boom, 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 boom. I mean, like decapitate this dude. So you ain't gonna hang on the ropes and play that pop shot game that your father tried and that you always do to people. He did. You know, it's funny how slippery Floyd is. Even though his father had the same style, I must say this. That Floyd implements the style a little better. So I know a lot of you guys are going to say, well, Floyd and his father. Got it. But it's the same style. And he implements it a little better, but that little better is not enough to beat Sugar Ray Leonard. You follow what I'm saying? It's the same style. Sugar Ray solved it. It took him like 7-8 rounds to solve it with his father, and he solved it. Look, there's a lot of fighters that solved it. It's just solving it is just staying on his ass, like Madonna did. Even to a certain extent, how De La Hoya did. He just missed everything, you know. And inside, it's almost like De La Hoya was throwing in, you know. It's almost like De La Hoya was throwing the shoulder that he was throwing. You ever see guys do that? I don't want to bring up no names, but I can eat him alive. But right now, I'm having a real temptation to eat him alive. This certain fighter. But I noticed that them guys, they some of these guys back in the day, they want to show. It was almost like showing the fight than winning the fight. Like they'll throw these big giant bowls, knowing they ain't gonna hit a damn thing, and then they get hit with a shot, bam, and they're like, hey, this best you got, and it's like proving that I'm tough. Boxing ain't about that. You know, they're gonna get me mad about that. But I'm saying, you know, look how tough I am, bang, look how tough I am, bang, and now they're drooling on themselves now. But you know, some of these guys. But I'm just saying, it ain't about that. So Floyd Mayweather wouldn't have been able to sustain heat that Sugar Ray Leonard would eventually put on him. The same way his father couldn't withstand the heat. His father buckled, and and Floyd would do the same thing. And I know he ain't gonna wait for Sugar Ray Leonard to get tired. Sugar Ray Leonard don't get tired. See, a lot of times Floyd beats guys just because his punch rate goes like you know, Floyd throws 5, the other guy throws 5. Floyd throws 5, the other guy throws 5. Floyd throws 5, the other guy throws 4. Floyd goes, okay, I got this guy. So instead of the next round going 5, now since you went down to 4, I'm gonna throw 6. So he up what they call switch to another gear. Once he switches to another gear, he just runs by guys, and now they can't keep up with the pace. So Floyd beats a lot of people with pace. I know what you're talking about with boxing, and even know what I'm talking about. But you got now some jackets that read a book, you don't even know what I'm talking about right now. But guys that box know what I'm talking about when you put to another gear. You know what I mean? And he Floyd wins fights on gear. Same thing like Lomachenko does the same thing. They push to another gear, and when the guys can't get with the gear, they start walking right through them because they can't keep up. They can't keep the punch rate up. So Floyd wins a lot of fights like that. That ain't gonna happen with Sugar Ray Leonard, son. That ain't gonna happen. Because, you know, first of all, when you fight 15-round fights, they go and knock guys out in 15 rounds. Which another thing tells you that he carries his power to the later rounds. Alright, he stopped Tommy in the late, in what, 14 round, right? Stopped him in the 14th round. So, you know what I mean? So, anyway, I guess that's the video, everybody. Boxlina, what you think? Okay, we don't say too much. Yeah. Yeah, so that's the show. Hey, listen, everybody, Punchingbagskunks.com, where you get the best down boxing. Take yourself over to the website and check out some brand new articles on there. We try to put one up a week. It's kind of tough, you know. We need a bigger staff, but yeah, but we are the truth on boxing. We're becoming the #1 source for boxing wisdom because you know why? Because we tell the truth. Tell the truth. We don't put on punches, and I don't care about what I like to say. I don't get starstruck. I don't get starstruck. Anyway, everybody, what are we at? 26? Yeah, all right, 26. All right, everybody, you guys have a wonderful day. From Punchingbagskunk.com. Peace.